Hey everybody, welcome. It's been a couple months. Happy New Year. I have a good reason for not posting on our channel for a couple months, but I'm back and you can expect a new video every couple of weeks because I started a job at the top of the year. I got recruited to a full-time job at an advertising agency that some of my friends work at, which has been really fun. It's great to work with your friends at a new job. And I am the new director of talent and story sourcing at this advertising agency, which is really cool because I get to, match talent, content creators, influencers, people with great media skills with advertising campaigns. And the cool thing about the agency I work for is that we only work with good cause organizations, nonprofits, governments, universities, churches, things like that. So it's really neat. I'm learning a ton from the world of advertising with like big global clients and, huge budgets about different parts of media that I haven't had my hands deep into before. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of what I learned with you that's appropriate, of course, and not violating any confidentialities. And then I'm also going to still bring you my insights to individual content creators, podcasters, YouTube shows, media strategy for creators in 2025, because I still am operating my media agency, Worthful Media, where we make podcasts and YouTube shows with seasoned personal brands. Just I'm not as involved. My team is mostly handling clients there. I'm involved with like one or two clients at a time. That's going to become my side gig while I focus as a full-time director of story sourcing. And that is my update. And now you have it. It's been really fun. I've really enjoyed kind of shifting into a new world and learning a new industry while still doing all the things I love with clients that I love on the side. So there's my update. And my video today for you has actually kind of been brewing for a couple of months because part of like knowing I was going to start this job at the top of the new year, I kind of got recruited over the holidays at the end of last year. I was thinking a lot about like, what can I bring to everyone who follows this channel and everyone who's subscribed to our email list and everyone who's been in my ecosystem for 10 years while I've been, producing podcasts and YouTube shows. What can I bring you this year that will actually really help you focus in? And I think focus is a word for a reason for this year because there is so much going on no matter where you live in the world, but obviously in the US. With a new government administration and a lot of shakeups and changes, both in economy and markets and policies and just in general. It's been a big new year, a new presidential administration, and a lot of new. And so I think focus has been really important for all content creators, whether you have been doing your stuff for a long time or you're kind of diving in. Because if you try to keep up with everything that's going on and jump on every new trend and is TikTok here and is it gone and oh, it's back and are we doing Substacks? Is it Instagram, YouTube? Like, are things getting filtered? Are things being shadow banned? Like, if you try to keep up with all of that and like keep on it and you're an individual creator and you don't have like a whole team, doing this for you, that would be overwhelming and I would not suggest that. So there has definitely been a tone change in media creation for individual creators, even within the last couple of months in 2025. So I'm going to kind of give you a summary of my thoughts today on how to strategically focus for this year in the current media climate. And then every other week, that's what I meant to say. I'm going to try and post twice a week on our YouTube channel. Twice a week. Oh my goodness. I might edit this out, but I might not. I'm going to try and post twice a month on our YouTube channel with the same tips and coaching I've been giving, but obviously relevant to, what's happening in the month. And then on our email list, I'll be sharing twice a month as well. So if you're not on our email list, go to worthfulmedia.com or click the link in this video description and get on there because I actually share a bunch of great, really relevant, top of mind stuff on our email list. So that'll be twice a month and this will be twice a month. And then you'll be all up to date with things I'm thinking about and learning, both from the world of advertising, the world of media, the world of podcasting, and content creators. Because I still work in that exact world. I just kind of, most of my time now, I'm spent finding the right people and talking to content creators about, really cool opportunities to like collab with these good cause organizations. So I'm still deep in content creator world and I'm spending a lot of time every day looking at content creator profiles, seeing what's working. But now I get cool insights from like a strategy team and a media team and an analytics team and a, production team and a creative team. That's the fun of working at an agency. There's a team for everything. So here's some things to focus on this year as an individual content creator. And the reason I'm kind of saying it that way is because this is relevant if you're a podcast host or a YouTube show host, or maybe you have a combo of that plus a Substack or an email list and you're on social media. So I'm kind of saying content creator in a little bit broader context than I normally do when I say, like, if you're a show host, because I think one of the most important things to focus on this year in 2025 is to be very conscious that being on one platform won't most likely get your message across to your audience. And I'm not trying to say that to like make you despair, like, oh my gosh, Christine, please don't tell me I have to be on every platform. You don't. But I want you to start thinking of yourself, if you haven't already, as a content creator with a target audience that exists on many platforms versus like, I'm a show host and everyone comes to me. Because those days for most people are gone. And even really great show hosts who have millions of followers are on many platforms. So strategically speaking, in the podcast industry, in the YouTube industry, in the social media space, being a great, successful, savvy content creator who gets their stuff seen by their target audience means being on multiple platforms. And not every platform, but strategically selecting the ones that best suit your goals and where your audience hangs out and how effective those platforms are at getting your message to your target audience. Not everyone needs to be on TikTok. Not everyone needs to be a podcast host. Not everyone needs to be on YouTube. Not everyone needs to be on Instagram. But there's a good chance that looking at your goals for the year of like the content you make, the messages you share, who you're trying to share those with, for what goals, you're likely going to probably be on a few platforms. That might include an email list and a YouTube channel. And that might be it for now, and that could totally work. Maybe it's Instagram, LinkedIn, and a podcast. Maybe it's YouTube, TikTok. Maybe you have like a much younger demographic and you're much more like in the trends and the hot news and current fun creative stuff. YouTube and TikTok are really popular with the younger generations, and it would make sense for you to be creating in those spaces. So that's tip number one. Focus in on the platforms that actually are where your audience is hanging out, where you know that you can, maybe you make one piece of content every week and then you chop it up and reformat it for your key platforms, right? So like today I'm making this YouTube video and I'll make a YouTube short out of it. And if I still, was active on social media, I'd put it on Instagram, but I haven't been for a couple years on purpose. But I'll probably still post this YouTube short on my LinkedIn profile because I'm still active there, especially now that I have a corporate job, and that's more important for me to keep a presence on my LinkedIn. And then I'll share this video out with my email newsletter next week. So that's an example of you could say oh, Christine's only on YouTube, but actually I'm on email and I'm going to repost this on LinkedIn. And I've consciously chosen to deactivate my Instagram and TikTok. That's not news. That was a couple of years ago. But it's very strategic for me to be sharing to my email subscribers, to my YouTube subscribers, and to my LinkedIn followers. That's the audience that is most likely to be served by the content and to attract the people that I would want to be chatting with about strategy this year. So that's tip number one. Definitely pick more than one platform to share your content on, but be very thoughtful about which ones you do. Yes, you need to be on multiple platforms because nobody is able to keep up with even their favorite podcast or their favorite YouTube show or their favorite Instagram account. There's so much going on. The likelihood that they're going to see it if you only post it in one place is very low. But be very strategic about why you're posting on each platform. And, you can still save a lot of time by making one great piece of content, whether that's written or video or audio, and then repackaging it for the right platforms. Okay. Tip number 2 this year to focus in as a content creator, and I've talked about this on our email newsletter, another reason to subscribe. But I think what we're seeing is that content creators are very powerful allies for brands, and they're more and more and more being seen that way because content creators who have an audience and have the skill of being able to make content is way better of an investment for a brand to ally with than to build from scratch everything in-house. So be really clear about the opportunities, if you can, try to get clarity on the opportunities that you want to get with brands, like what kind of collaborations, what kind of partnerships, sponsorships, etc. And then go seek out relationships with those brands. And that might not make a lot of sense to you right now, but even just start to think in the back of your head, even like in dreamland, like in a year or in 2 years, I would love to do a collaboration with such and such brand. And that could be a platform or an organization. It doesn't have to be like a retail or a commerce or a for-profit brand. But the kind of way forward for messages to get heard and shared is through cross-sharing across platforms and doing collaborations. And really smart brands and content creators are doing that. And there's going to be more and more of that because it's harder and harder to get people's attention. And so kind of pooling resources and being like, you bring your followers and your great skills at getting attention, and we'll lend you the, resources and the audience of our brand, and together we'll make something that actually gets in front of our target audience. So you might be there already where you're doing brand collabs, and I would get really clear on the kinds of ones you want and then seek out those relationships. Or if you've never done it before, I would get clear on, like, even in my dream scenario, who would be a great collab, who has a similar audience, who has a similar value system and vibe, and, like, who would I want to make content with in collaboration? And that'll really help you hone in on, like, where can I, what am I trying to say? Put your efforts together. That, what I say, is a big theme of 2025. How can we pool resources and amplify each other's efforts, whether that's individual content creators and brands, or individual content creators and individual content creators, or brands and brands, or organizations and brands. We need to work together if we have common causes. And so I want you to start thinking about that if you're an individual creator, because that will really go a long way in helping you not burn out and also reach your target audience. Okay, I know that there's a lot more we could talk about, but I'm going to wrap it here because we're already a little bit long on this video, and I want you to share questions and comments if you have them below in the video, because I can respond to whatever your burning questions are this year. But definitely subscribe to the channel. I just wanted to give myself a couple months to get used to the new job, and now I'm going to be posting a couple times a month. Subscribe to our email list, and we'll see you next time.